right, let's see if we can stay live this time for more than like 10 minutes. All right, so the whole point of today's stream kind of side railed from the last live stream, but wait here, see if anybody tunes in. And if not, hey, what's up, Horizon Shot? First, yes, you were first. Guess who's back? Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Fixing an antenna to your friend. What's up? How's it going, everybody? Hopefully the third time is the charm, right? You know, the first is the worst. Second, that might have been the one with the best content, but this is the one that will survive the test of time. Horizon Shot, you were the first. You were the first to comment. Can you kiss your car? Ah, there you go, buddy. Kiss the car, Yannel. Just for you. Just for you. I waited since the last live stream. Well, I appreciate you guys waiting. I appreciate you guys being patient. Ben, how's it going? You can hear me, but no video. However, you only have one bar. All right, is anybody else able to see me and hear me? I appreciate the compliment, Creptor. I do my best to, you know, keep any ego I have under control. Sometimes it gets away from me, but you know, everybody, we all have our faults, right? As far as people were asking if I saw aliens, no, I didn't see. Well, I mean, I saw a lot of people in really cool alien costumes, but I don't think any of them were real aliens. I got accused of being an alien a few times, which was kind of funny because, you know, the Martian report, and you know, my name's Jade, so I'm a Jade Martian, a green Martian. Yeah. The video, when I minimized the video. Oh, okay. Interesting. That's bizarre. Maybe it's because I have it on low quality. I turned everything down on my phone. I moved locations, so that's why the lighting's a little bit different now to get a little bit better signal. So hopefully it doesn't disconnect me. I'm thinking the issue of what's going on is related to the fact that this phone has like a feature that like alerts me whenever it's starting to overheat. So I'm wondering if maybe it's overheating is causing it to like disable the Wi-Fi card. Am I a conspirator? As in, do you believe in many conspiracy theories? Argar, I don't really believe anything, like conspiracy or otherwise, right? Like I consider myself a healthy skeptic. I take all things kind of at face value, and I just weigh them against everything else that I see and hear. And I put more stock in things that I feel that I can find more ways to validate versus, you know, invalidate, right? So like with aliens, I absolutely believe that aliens, you know, exist. I mean, it's just a matter of probability, and we live in a really big universe, so of course they probably exist somewhere. I mean, as far as whether or not they're as intelligent as us or as advanced, you know, or more so, that's impossible to say, right? That's a loaded question, Yano, so we're going to not answer that one. I'm pretty sure Abigail is the alien, the lead scientist's daughter. The alien in Area 51, the lead scientist's daughter. Interesting. I've not heard of this. Who's the lead scientist at Area 51 now? The only scientist I'm aware of at Area 51 was Bob Lazar. Didn't follow anybody else. Indeed, Michael, we are back. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss anybody else while we're scrolling through. But yeah, I think that, can we buy Lambos yet? Ashton Martin for me, though. Ben, you can have your Ashton. I'm getting a Tesla Model S, you know. He killed himself. Oh, well, that got brutal real quick. That's unfortunate. Was it because his daughter was an alien who was held in Area 51? Like, how does that work? If the scientist's daughter is the alien, does that mean that he clapped some alien cheeks? Is that what happened? Serious question, you know. I heard they're using XRP on other planets. Daniel Martinez, I wouldn't doubt that. I think XRP should be used everywhere. Is XRP old alien technology? Maybe, but we only discovered it like about 7 years ago. Well, Ryan Fugger discovered it about 7 years ago. That's the guy who apparently wrote the code. You know, if we're going off that as ancient alien technology, then you know he found it and is just pretending it's his, right? I'm gonna get a Tesla Roadster and make it a satellite. That's fake. That'd be awesome. I wish that I had that kind of money to just like launch a car into orbit just to be like, see, I could do it. I did it. Yeah, no, how much do I earn with XRP? Well, right now I haven't earned anything because it's a long-term investment for me. I'm doing what's called dollar cost averaging into XRP. So every week, every 2 weeks, whenever I'm able to, I buy about, basically what I can afford to buy at that point in time into the market. And I've been slowly growing my position for about a year now. And I'm at a pretty healthy sum now, but now that we've been seeing I'm glitching so hard. Let's see, is my service down? So yeah, just have to deal with the bugs right now while I'm still getting situated out here in San Diego or San Francisco. Anyways, yeah, I just dollar cost average in right now so that I can build my portfolio up. But after seeing that we have like, the Federal Reserve, the ECB, the IMF, the Bank of International Settlements, World Bank, over 40 different central banks from around the world, including Japan, Russia, China, US, and European Central Union. Like, it seems like it's too many people in support of XRP for it to fail. How far are you from your home? Well, I'm in my home, yeah, and work in one of the most, high-paying cities in the country, and dump all that into my XRP. I'm at this point now where we're watching this market about to just explode because of all the stuff that's going on, not just with Ripple and R3 getting XRP adopted. No, I don't. I live here. I live in my car now. I car camp. I got a bed and an inflatable mattress in the trunk and everything, so I just set up capitalism. It's not that I can't afford one apartment or anything. It's just I'd rather live in my vehicle, save a lot of money, and just put all of that into this digital asset. I was carried into Area 51 in a fake UFO. They won't let me leave. Oh no! Ultraviolet mystic moves. We didn't save you. We saved what was its name? Kona. We saved Kona. If you saw a live stream, you know. But now we gotta come back and save you. You're gonna have to wait a year because it's gonna take a while to reinvigorate everybody to hop back on this bandwagon and raid Area 51. Maybe next year. We'll save you. We got Kona this year. We'll get you this next year. I promise. I promise, Ultra. We got your back. Did you sell your house and live in the car and use the money to buy XP? I've never owned a home. I've only ever rented. So, no, if I had a home, yeah, I'd probably sell it for XRP. I'm not going to lie. I do not suggest anybody out there do the same, right? Like, this is my mad experiment. I'm at a point in my life where I can take this kind of risk and, put everything all forward, So I'm not advocating that anybody do anything like I am to get in this. I'm just trying to get a leg up in life and then get enough that I can ensure the well-being of all my friends and family and everybody, not just myself. The amount that I have now, I think I'll be secure when XRP moons, but I want to be able to get enough so that I can be more than secure. I can actually help bring security in the lives of the people who I love and care about, right? So that's where I'm at too, my brother. Coda Hyatt, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. It's lagging hard apparently. Apologies for the lag, guys. Super Llama, no. Ultimately, there was no raid. It was a raid party. Everybody raided the desert, raided Rachel, Nevada, and we all just partied all night long. Well, all day, most of the night. We should all dress up as aliens and go to Area 51 again. Next year, bring your alien costume. I'm going to take an alien costume myself next year because I kind of felt bad that there were so many people with alien costumes. I felt left out, rather. There's so many people with awesome alien costumes, and I was just there as a person. Does my girlfriend live with me? Do you think I have a girlfriend living in my car? No, dude. No. I do have a girlfriend, though. Just not living here. The lag is real, sorry. 10K per XRP. How much XRP do we need to secure our freedom? Daniel, that's a really hard question to answer. I've done a lot of videos on where I can see XRP's price going. My most conservative estimate for where the price will go is to about $250 per coin. So, do the math. If it's $250 per coin, if you have 4,000 coins, 4,000 XRP, then, when it hits that, 5 years from now, however long it takes, that'll be worth $1 million, right? So however much money you think you need, you know, multiply it by that 250, and that's probably like the most conservative, right? So that's the good way to look at it, because if you think that it can't go to 250, then you're probably going to think that you need more XRP than just 4,000. And right now 4,000's like $1,200 or so. So it's, for me, you know, I'm not advocating for anybody out there to do the same, because I know many of you are not, you know, you're new to this whole thing that I'm even talking about. But for me, XRP is like something that there's just too much opportunity in it for me not to take a risk, right? I mean, if I only have to put a few $1,000s forward and I put to be a millionaire, then, you know, that's a risk I can take, especially when I'm seeing all the things that I'm seeing with Ripple Labs, you know, hundreds, literally hundreds of companies, big names like Apple and Microsoft and, you know, Bank of America are adopting what Ripple Labs is developing and developing upon in regards to XRP and its ecosystem. So if you're new, I absolutely encourage you to go check out like a lot of my earlier content. But I'm also going to do some introductory videos to this asset, so that like, a lot of people out there can get their heads wrapped around just what this is and why new technology. Most people don't even understand what Bitcoin is, let alone why this other cryptocurrency is going to be better than Bitcoin, right? But we'll get into that some more. Do you ever see XRP in the 4-digit range? Ninja I can absolutely see XRP going to 4 digits. I've been did a legitimate video on it going to 5 digits. Now, as far as 5 digits, I think that the only way we hit 5 is if we start to see fiats begin to hyperinflate, and we are actually. You know, the Federal Reserve came out this last week saying that they're going to be pumping $1.4 trillion into the U.S. economy over the next 3 weeks. That's insanity. That's just so much money. It's not even funny. So, you know, the European Central Bank is also doing a lot of quantitative easing, aka they're printing more euros into circulation over there. So all the banks are doing it now. You know, it's the cool thing to do, hyperinflate your economy. And so in that regard, you know, if they don't stop, then I could absolutely see XP even going to the 5, you know, and not just 10,000 even, but like above $10,000 per. But in that kind of a situation, you know, we're not really talking about how much value you're going to gain as much as how much it will be worth compared to a devalued dollar, right? So that's kind of like a, you know, I admittedly use the 10,000 video as kind of like a little bit clickbait, because I want people to understand, you know, that when it comes to value of these currencies compared to each other, they can change rapidly depending upon how, you know, one currency's monetary policy is affecting it. And in the case of the US dollar, you know, the Federal Reserve is now printing trillions. Well, over $1 trillion, almost, you know, probably going to push towards 2 trillion before it's all said and done. So, you know, it'll probably go way up. Super Llama, XRP, like Bitcoin, is a blockchain based currency. So it has a fixed supply that can't be inflated by, you know, anybody. And that's hard coded into this program that we call a blockchain. And it's a currency that is a lot like gold in the sense that because it's finite, you can preserve value in it, because people can't, you know, just debase the value by creating more of the coins or more of whatever it is. You know, it's like the tulip, you know, compared to the tulip bubble, Bitcoin is compared to the tulip bubble in 2017 because it exploded so much, right? And that's really false, because tulips, you know, you can breed more tulip bulbs and then you can just have as many as you need. But with Bitcoin, you know, even though it exploded in value, there weren't more Bitcoins. You know, there's only ever going to be 21 million, and a lot of those got lost in the early days. Like millions of coins are probably lost. So there might, you know, some estimates I've seen put it to less than 12 million coins that will ever be in circulation. And that's crazy to think about, because I think we're at like 14 or 15 million now of 21. So that means that we only have about 6 or 7 million in circulation right now. But I don't promote Bitcoin on my channel, mainly because, well, there's a lot of things, and I'll do a comparison video later. I don't want to go on that kind of a tangent. I don't want to bash Bitcoin to a bunch of people who don't understand like the technicals even, you know. There's a lot of things about the Bitcoin network though that are really inefficient, and they're just not going to scale to a global stage like what a lot of people in Bitcoin want. And it's largely due to the fact that the people who are, you know, developing on Bitcoin, they can't agree with each other. And so because they can't agree and reach consensus, they can't implement updates to the blockchain network. Because just like any other blockchain, that's the whole idea, is that you can't change this thing unless the majority of people agree that that change needs to occur. Now, but yeah, I don't want to get too much on why I don't like Bitcoin comparative, but XRP is very, very similar to Bitcoin for you, Hector, to be straightforward with you. Yo, checking in. What's up, Dabjamins? How's it going, brother? I haven't been here in a while. SwellConf is near. I know, right? And I'm really hoping that I get to attend. So since I'm in San Francisco, I'm going to try to see if I can schedule like a tour of Ripple Labs for everybody. I think that'd be really cool. And I'd really like to see if I could ask somebody to get me a press pass to attend Swell in Singapore, because I would love nothing more than to attend Swell. That would be so freaking cool. I know that everybody in the XRP community would be ecstatic to get, one of our community members there to be able to do journalism there. I don't know if they let me do a live stream or whatever at it, because they're probably going to have a lot of stuff that's kind of NDA. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of terms I have to agree to. And I'll be transparent, obviously, with my community about, what requirements are involved if I'm extending that opportunity. But that'd be super awesome, and I'd hope to. Hit that like if you'd like to see me go to Swell 2019 and do live stream for y'all. That would be sick, right? 52 of y'all in the chat. Much appreciated to everybody out there. Backed Nathan Rodriguez, good point. Backed is going live tomorrow. Or I heard, I don't remember who it was that was saying, but I heard earlier today that somebody was saying that it actually should be launching at 8 p.m. GP, I don't remember the time frame, but apparently it's supposed to be starting like as early as 8 p.m. tonight for some people. I don't remember the time zone, so it might be morning for us here in the US, but pardon, we'll see. Master of SCP, I already said Apple, bro. Apple's already partnered with XRP. A lot of people, and that's something else that a lot of people don't take into consideration, even in the XRP community, because we don't talk about it, because it's such old news. Even occurred for XRP's original price run up to $4. Apple had already partnered with Ripple to use XRP in Apple Pay, and that was wrote off as speculation when people first started talking about it late in 2015, and it came out to be true in 2016. And Hector Piers, who's backing XRP? So that's kind of a little bit of a loaded question, right? Because XRP is not backed in the sense that the dollar is backed by oil right now. In theory, it's backed by oil, even though they can trade against each other. So when it comes to what gives XRP its value is given to it largely by its scarcity. So the fact that there's only 100 billion coins and there will never be more, in addition to the fact that there is a demand for it. Now, right now, the demand is mostly just speculative, just like Bitcoin. It's people like me, people like other people in the chat here who have invested in this, expecting that in the long term, the value of the asset is going to appreciate as more people begin to adopt this, so that they don't have to worry about their money being devalued by their government, printing trillions of dollars like the US government's doing right now, right? So as far as backing, it's backed by itself. It's backed by computer power. The computer power prevents there from being more than XRP than there is, and so that ensures that it has the backing of its supply, right? The only reason you have a backing in traditional currencies is because you can print them. If you have paper, who's to stop you from printing more paper if there's not some kind of fiscal policy saying that you will not print more paper than you have gold to back it or oil to back it, right? So hopefully that was clear and you understand a little bit, why I went into nuance like that. What's up, Nathan Rodriguez? Did you get into Area 51? I wish, Kyle. That would have been so awesome to get in. You're an all-star. Thank you, Caden. Appreciate seeing you back in again. It's awesome seeing so many of the people who tuned in that live stream, the live stream I did on the 20th over there, to be tuning back in, especially since, we're talking mainly about what this channel is all about, which is digital assets and, the state of the economy and where technology is going to take our species, our economy over the next few years. Dude, this vid is glitching because he's in outside of a park is probably what's going on there, Master of SCP. I'm telling you all he is. Okay, maybe I'm a Martian. Okay, I've said it a lot. I have said since the beginning of this channel that I'm Jay Martian, but it's all good. Umbrella unacknowledged SAP. What? Umbrella? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Pascal. Could you clarify? Let's moon like the button. Ooh, I would love everybody if they can make my likes moon on this video. That'd be awesome. But, about half of you already hit the like button, so appreciative of the 25 people who've already hit it, and to the 57 that are still in here. Do me a favor, hit that like. Help get some more people in this chat. Get this chat room rolling. I'm trying to get down in the chat here, so, maybe I don't need more chat. You're also invested in IOTA, Dab Dimmons. There should be a pairing with XRP. I've done a little bit of research in the IOTA, and my biggest concern with it is that its supply can be inflated. So that's why I also don't invest in Ethereum, because unlike XRP and Bitcoin, their currency supply can be increased. So that's the only reason I don't have anything in it. But I do see a lot of promise in its network. So don't get me wrong in thinking I'm bashing on it. I do think that IOTA's got a great platform. I just don't know that it will preserve value for the long term, right? That's really what I'm about with this. I'm not trying to get rich quick investing in digital assets. I'm trying to ensure that, in the not too distant future, I'll be financially free. I'll be financially stable and be able to pursue basically any venture that I want. I think that's what most people want in life, is to go, pursue their ambitions, their desires, and their dreams. The issue is that, we all need money to survive, right? So that's really why I'm in this space. It's not, I am fascinated by the technology and what's going on, and from a philanthropical point, I do agree with the idea of us changing over to sound money that can't be fitted. But overall, I'm really just in this asset space because I want to make a little bit of money so that I can go and pursue business ventures that, nobody wants to fund for me, because, I'm kind of crazy. I'm crazy enough to be investing in XRP and living in my car so that I can buy more XRP, right? Like, I'm kind of a crazy guy. If you're taking investment advice from me, you're probably gonna have a bad day. I'm just saying, do your own research, guys. Absolutely be doing your own research as well. Don't just trust everything I say blindly, right? Like, I won't lie to everybody on my channel. I take pride in the fact that I'm as transparent and honest as humanly possible with everybody out there, because, I want to grow my community. And it's been growing, at an astounding rate over the past few months. I mean, before the Area 51 raid, I was already at just under 6,000 subscribers. So, and I've only started streaming since, started content since May. So the fact that I've grown so quickly is just mind-boggling to me. And I really appreciate everybody who regularly tunes in. So thank you guys all. Seriously, it's awesome. Peter Holman, I understand the standardization and moves to using XRP with Corticellular and R3. Thanks for the content on crypto. Absolutely, Peter. And yeah, that's really what it is that what Ripple Labs and R3 are doing is they're standardizing blockchain and how this can be integrated into the internet. And that's not something a lot of ecosystems are really doing, and they're not working with established, entrenched industry, participants to ensure that their ecosystem gets integrated, seamlessly. And I think that's, in my opinion, that's one of the biggest things about why I think XRP is going to do so well, so much better than everything else, is because they're, constantly networking. And, anybody who knows anything about business, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And Ripple, they know everybody that's important to know. I mean, we have pictures of them with everybody that's important to know, so we know that they know the important people to know, Argar, inflation can still happen. It's just different. Efficiencies can always be traded for other kinds of cryptocurrencies. So yes, absolutely. You can, I can see a future where there's at least 3 or 4 major cryptocurrencies that will, encapsulate the global economy. There's a lot of debate whether or not Bitcoin will be one of the longtime survivors. I think that it will always be worth a rather considerable amount of money, simply because it was the original. It turned into a collector's edition, collector's item type thing. So, but inflation doesn't happen in blockchains like Bitcoin and XRP. They are inherently deflationary. Well, Bitcoin is fixed. Its network is fixed, but XRP is deflationary in the fact that its coins are burned over time. So it can only appreciate in value from a supply side. And so long as there's increasing demand on the network, it will continue to just mature in value. And right now there's less than one, there's only 1.7 million wallets that have XRP in them. So, that's not even 1% of the global population. That's not even 0.1% of the global population, right, guys? So it's got a lot of room to grow still. Um, let's see. I have connections in Singapore. Awesome. Where are you from, Peter? If you don't mind me asking. Do I like green stuff, Yano? Well, I'm in California. I just don't want to say that's that thing that you're asking me about in stream, but yeah, absolutely. I don't encourage people to do it, especially if you want to have like a good career. You can't maintain a good like sound state of mind if you're sitting there, smoking on that stuff every day. But if you do it just to like de-stress in the evenings, like most people have a beer, then hey, more power to you. Um, I'm not. I am definitely a supporter of anybody who wants to alter their state of mind through any means you choose to. Just as long as you're not hurting other people, it's your body. Do what you will. I'm not a BTC maxi, but it can be good to grow your XRP in the short, medium term basis. Yeah, and Dabs, I actually feel almost mirrored to that, right? Like, I think that in the short term, short to medium term, Bitcoin's going to do fantastic, and that's because Backed is going live tomorrow, right? So I think that we're going to see some serious moves from Bitcoin, but because Bitcoin's going to move big, that's gonna trickle down into the other assets like XRP too, and then sometime in over the course of the next 3 months before the end of the year, we should see some real utility value from MoneyGram using XRP. We should see some real value enter the market from that. Now, I don't want to speculate on how much they're going to bring in, how much it's going to change the value, but I think it's going to be real. I think it's going to be so much of an impact that nobody's going to be able to say that utility is not going to drive the price of this space in the future, right? And that's going to have that's going to bring a new dynamic to how all this how these assets are compared price wise, because right now we watch all the prices move almost in tandem. If Bitcoin goes up, XRP goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, XRP goes down. Now, this last week has been a little bit different because XRP went way up and it came down, and Bitcoin just kind of sat flat. It even went down a little bit, right? But that's what we call an alt season for those that are new. But that they usually come after Bitcoin has a rally type of thing. So the fact that we saw XRP and XLM rally and nothing was happening in the rest of the market that makes me even more bullish. That makes me even more confident that XRP is going to do really, really well in the coming months. Even if Bitcoin steals the spotlight, for this year because of Backed going live, and we'll see how that goes. Codeword, what's up, dude? Glad to see you in the chat. Glad to see you could make it, dude. Yeah, absolutely survived the raid. Dude, you at Swell would be epic. I know, right? I mean, I'm really worried because I do make content that gets a lot of people upset because I like to speculate. The greatest of possibilities. It's like the old saying, aim for the stars, and if you miss, at least you'll land on the moon, right? Or I think it's something like that. And so hopefully they aren't like upset with me that I'm being so provocative with how I try and get people aware of what's going on with this. But we'll see how it goes. I'd just be cool if the fact they let me do a tour around the office, do a live stream tour where maybe we take a few questions from the chat towards just developers and people get their take on how they feel about working for Ripple. That'd be really cool in and of itself. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. It's 8 p.m. Eastern right now, is it? Yes, it is. Yeah, we've been going for a half hour now and it hasn't disconnected. Can we get a like button to let YouTube know that we appreciate it's not kicking me off constantly again? We found the magic spot. I'm gonna come here to do my live streams from now on, just because apparently I can live stream from here. Yeah, I'm not in Nevada. I am in San Francisco now, so I'm a good ways away from the Area 51. Good ways away from where that UFOs while out there. Now again, I'm not saying any of them were spacecraft, but I saw 3. And the first one I didn't get on film, but I felt like that was the most legitimate of to fall asleep before I did my first, like, where I was like, okay, I'm driving back to Area 51. We're going to do a live stream. And that's where that whole live stream series kicked off, was with the, the stream of me driving down the road in the middle of the night. And then we saw something out the wind out my I caught something outside my window, and that was crazy. That one was crazy. That was the first one I got on film. That was the second. And then the third one was the one that I saw leaving Area 51 when I was like about 30 miles west already of Rachel, Nevada. I saw that third one. So it's funny because I was saying, everybody before I went, even came out, I was like, I don't expect to see anything because I've never seen a UFO in my life. Like I've seen things I was like, oh, I don't know what that is, but I think it's probably a satellite because it's just moving one direction rather fast across the sky. It's like, it's probably a satellite. I couldn't explain three things that I saw while I was out there at Rachel, Nevada. So my skepticism, I'm still skeptical of what I saw, but it was still really cool. It was an awesome experience. I'm glad that I was able to share at least two of them with many of you. How do I shower and make food? Just curious. Daniel. So I'm actually going to do a bit of a series on this, people, and it's going to be called Millionaire Mindset. And it's kind of cheeky clickbait name for the series, but the idea is that I'm going to go and make a series where I'm practicing all the habits and methods that numerous people who have become financially independent, so as they like to coin it, have done to in the beginning. And so, like, the reason why I'm in the car and why I'm living the way that I am is because many people who are successful, they choose to adopt a minimalist lifestyle in order to pursue their dreams. So like Elon Musk, for example, he came to America from South Africa when he got out here, he had less than $200 to his name. And so he lived out of a YMCA out here in San Francisco. He lived out one of the YMCAs here, which is what I'm doing. That's how I shower. I shower at YMCAs. I have a gym pass. So he'd shower there, and then he'd work out of an office and sleep out of the office with his brother as they developed PayPal. I don't remember what the original was called for his payment service. But, him and his brother, were so dedicated to this that, he was living out of the office that they ended up renting because it was cheaper to rent an office space and both of them to crash there than to actually get an apartment to pursue that. As far as food, it kind of sucks actually. I have to, that's actually because I don't have a place. I actually spend a little bit more on food because I have to go and like get pre-made meals or something that I can fix for myself in my vehicle. But yeah, by and large, I just eat out more often, and probably spend a little bit more than I probably should on that. But overall, I save a lot more money from the rent that I'm not paying because rent out here is crazy. Like an apartment's like $1,600. That's a good rate for an apartment in San Francisco. So I'm lagging. Sorry, Kyle. At least we're not getting disconnected this time, so better than nothing, right? What's up, Owen Baum? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Morgan Doyle. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by, Jose. We got three of y'all, just quick succession jumping in. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like, guys. Pump up the algos. Pump up the jam. Hello, is everyone still running Area 51? Julie, no, the raid definitely ended kind of early the night before even. Like, from my understanding, one of the people that I met up with said that he was going to the gate, and he went to go to the gate, and they apparently had the road that goes back to it blocked off, and many people who had tried to go before they had it blocked off, I guess they got flat tires. So I'm really kind of glad that I didn't go back there and get my tires punctured, because that would have been fun, especially since I don't have a spare right now. So yeah, Area 51, nothing happened, but maybe next I'm definitely going to be there, and hopefully some of y'all will be out there too. We're gonna turn alien stock into the Martian Report annual gathering, right? So as this channel grows, I'm gonna encourage everybody that comes here to also join me at alien stock every year, and that'll just be where all of us Martians get together, chat. What's up, Jason Clement? Thank you for stopping by. Drink beer, yeah. I'm not gonna advocate that anybody drink beer or do anything other than whatever you choose to do with your life. I don't really like beer myself, to be honest. Daniel, Morgan, nerd. Yeah, I'm definitely a nerd. Proud nerd. Proud nerd. Nerds rule this world. Who doesn't want to be a nerd? All right. I think all the adults in the room understand that. More than you might be a little bit young saying nerd. That's usually something that children say, right? Daniel Martinez, are you all in XRP? I am not all in. I have, I want to say like 7 or 8% of my portfolio in Bitcoin still. Actually, I think it's more than that now because XRP is down. It's probably like, it's somewhere between like 8 to 12% of my portfolio is still Bitcoin, but everything else is XRP. And then I've got like, I have like $20 here and there and a few other digital assets, but it's not even like not really worth mentioning, you know what I mean? But so by and large, I am all in XRP, but I have Bitcoin as a hedge. And that's how I choose to invest. That's not me telling you how you should invest, obviously, right? Put 1,000 into ETH. It's worth 200 now. Yeah, I just can't invest in ETH personally. If you are, by all means, I think that the ecosystem has at least medium term benefit to it as far as like investment, and I think it is at a lower price right now, um, versus it's it's normal. It's at a trend low, I guess I should say, because it's not really low, but it's at a trend low. So it might be a safe place to park money right now, but again, I don't really like ETH just because of the fact that its supply can be inflated. By the way, good news, you can get back the donations and ad revenue from the streamer stealing from the other day. Just report them and they will hold the revenue and give it to the owner of the content. Really? Well, that would be really crazy to see if they pay me for that. Maybe I'll submit a ticket to find out if they're going to. I already answered that question. I guess it's just because I'm way backed up in the stream here. I'm gonna just hit up questions here, so I'm gonna scroll down. Michael Boykin, you've been subscribed for 4 months now, joining streams every now and then since school started back up. Well, I appreciate your regular subscription. The fact that you've been around for so long and you're still consuming my content means I must be doing something right to retain somebody so long, right? So thank you for your continued faith in me, brother. How's it going, King Isaac? Welcome to the chat. So no one ran to base yesterday night. Sad face or laugh face. Yeah, unfortunately, right? I know ET. Do you want to know him? Question mark. Crypto Poppy. Do you know ET? I would love to meet him. Is this an Area 51 raid? No, this is a XRP Area 50 or alien chat room really right now. Just like trying to like really bring everybody who is part of the Alien 51 crew up to date with what this channel is really about, which is XRP. And tons of XRP people in the room. Glad to see all my Martians. I love the fact that, y'all have been stick with me, despite the fact that my content's been like so all over the place lately as I've been, moving on vacation and just like craziness. Doing this Area 51 raid, totally irrelevant to XRP, but you guys are awesome. You keep tuning in. Thank you for helping me hold down the ship and keep this channel going. It's awesome to have so many people out there in the world support me. I never really expected to have so many people actually care about what I say. Most people seem to tune out. So much love to all of you. Seriously, you guys are awesome. I hope so. I own some XRP. Awesome, Daniel. Yeah. As far as when XRP will overtake Bitcoin, that's a really hard question to answer. It really depends on how Bitcoin does in its next bull run and how long it takes for XRP to see utility volume. I really can't say. But to Satoshi Mitsu, no, I am no longer out in the desert. Philip, how's Sweden going, brother? Thank you for the warm greeting. Hopefully you're staying warm up there. I know it's a rather cold country, but maybe it's a nice warm day for you. Will XRP overtake Bitcoin? Sam, I do think that eventually it will. I just can't say when, right? I wish I could, but Roy, thank you for a stream at Area 51. Sightings on your way home. Well, no problem, Roy. I'm glad that you appreciated them. Glad you found them entertaining, if nothing else. And, yeah, we can't confirm what it was that I was seeing. I can't confirm, so I can't confirm for you what I saw. Dreamers always win. I agree, Daniel. I completely agree. Your stream was everywhere yesterday. Yeah, so I saw. And apparently some people were getting like 40,000 plus people tuning in concurrently. I was like, what the? How? I was just like rambling too. Like it was just like this. Like there's nothing, not that this isn't, me answering questions and help engaging with people, but I was really just answering questions. There wasn't any real event going on, aside from the party. But yeah, it was cool. It was really cool to be able to be kind of the face for everybody. Ron, how's it going, bro? Go to an Army Navy store, grab some meals from there. They'll last longer. Yeah, I definitely like. I don't mind spending a lot on my food, mainly because I prefer to eat like really healthy stuff. I mean, I'm pretty thin, as y'all probably saw from my multiple videos. I'm a really thin person, but I prioritize eating things that are actually like you know nutritiously good for me, as opposed to just what's cheap and quick. So like whenever I go out to eat, I'm usually going to a sit down, or I'm going to get like something from the store that's like, I like getting fruit bowls and, soup and whatnot like that. But yeah, by and large, I don't like processed anything. I don't eat processed foods. So, and I know that's what most of the meals that they give me at the like a what would they be? I can't remember. USO. MREs, yeah, MREs. No. I only thankfully ever had to eat two of those, and I'm glad that I only had to eat two. It's gonna be a yearly festival. Dab, I hope it's a yearly festival. And I apologize to everybody that the stream's lagging, but this is the best I can offer y'all right now. Dromus, I left Area 51 the like around 11, or around, I think it was around midnight, maybe 1 o'clock, on the 20th, the night of the 20th. So yeah, I left a little while ago. It took me over a day to drive all the way out here to San Francisco. So, um, Dab, raid and live stream Swell conference. Yes, I can't wait I really hope that I get to stream Swell. That would be like the coolest thing ever. That'd be such an honor. Do I sleep in my car towning? Yes, I do. I have a inflatable mattress that I have stuck into the back, and I pull the pillows out, put them over top of this thingy here, so I'm not stabbing myself in the back. And it's actually really comfortable. A mattress and the just one pillow is enough to keep my head elevated enough, and I have plenty of room back there. And it works. It works, and it's not $1,000 a month for a bed that I am just laying in while I work however many hours a day. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm skipping over a lot of the questions that I've already answered. Dr. Z, how's it going, dude? Long time no see. It's been a long time since I did actually a live stream for anybody in the XRP community too, so it's good to actually see all y'all popping in and being able to catch up with y'all. Backed is not going to have XRP tomorrow, right? Some say it will. No, I don't think it will. I've heard people saying that too. I've also heard people saying that we're not going to have it. So, from my understanding, it's not, but we'll see. Because I know that one of the ETFs, I can't remember which it was, one of the ETFs did say that they were going to be listing XRP though. And I just don't remember which one it is. I don't think it was backed. I don't. But it might have been, and that might be why people are saying that. But I know that somebody announced last year that they were going to be listing XRP, and I just can't remember who. And I don't remember if it was real news too. It might have been something that got debunked later. I'll do some digging and I'll let you know. Now that you don't know if the men in black are coming for you because of Area 51 or because you hold crypto. Yeah, I know, right, Phantom? Oh man, how am I gonna know if when they show up, I'm just gonna say, so which watch list am I on? Is there a watch list that I'm not on yet, right? Dromas, what's XRP? XRP is a digital asset. It's a lot like Bitcoin. This channel is dedicated primarily to that. So my next few videos, my next real video is gonna be a introduction into what XRP is and comparing it to Bitcoin, so that those people who are new to my channel will get a little bit of an idea of why I'm obsessed with this thing. And if you guys like that kind of content, you can stick around. If not, I'm also going to be doing content covering things like robotics, advancements in robotics, artificial intelligence, genetic and engineering with technologies like CRISPR, right? So this channel is really dedicated to, futurists. If you consider yourself a futurist, you're going to love the content that this channel is dedicated to creating. Because I'm a futurist, and so that's what I love. So that's what I want to. That's the thing that I want to share. I want to share my passion with everybody out there, right? Your channel is what I got from the raid. Argar, I appreciate that I got you from the raid, right? I might not have got to catch an alien, but I caught a lot of cool people that are now tuning in. What's up, Phenomenon? We're below 50% in escrow. It's awesome, right? Oh, Dad, by the way, can you say about XRP dumping its coins and the monthly 1 billion release? So, yeah, Dad, the way that the sale from Ripple Labs goes, as far as like any XRP they sell in, they don't. They're right now they limit themselves to not selling any more than 2% or 0.2%, sorry, of the daily volume. So it's like non-existent amount that they're actually putting in the circulation. It is a downward pressure, admittedly, but at the same time, it's a downward pressure that is going to become ever less frequent and ever less extreme as time goes on, as the network grows. And so, really, what Ripple is doing, if anything, is they're giving all of us, retail investors who have supported their network for, some of us for years, an extra just a little bit longer to really get our bags filled, get the positions that we're really comfortable with, so nobody's regretting anything. That's the way that I look at it. And the 1 billion that they release from escrow each month, now that it's below 50%, I think it's like 49% almost even now. It's like 49,800 or something like that. So almost 50% still in escrow, but it's not anything that we really need to worry about. Sing is king. I don't like doing short-term price predictions or like quarterly price predictions. I got burned by doing that this summer because we're getting all excited for Swell coming out, or not Swell, SBI launching their platform, and I was so confident because the tweets that we'd seen from Yoshitaka Tao the year before that we were going to see some serious price action, and then we got a lot of nothing burger, right? And we got a nothing burger, and that was enough to cause a lot of people to quit, and that's why I think that we saw the price dump in August, is because nothing came of SBI, and a lot of people were expecting something. I think that's really why XRP's price rallied in May. But ultimately, it just seems like the speculative volume for this asset class is just non-existent now. I mean, it's just not there. And so the only way we're going to really see value come in my opinion, is from utility. And it's hard to say how long it's going to take them to ramp that up. So I think 2020, we should definitely see XRP back above $1 in 2020. And when I say back above $1, I mean that it should be going, it should be trying to go for all new highs at some point in 2020. I don't know how long it's going to take, because I don't know how long it's going to take for all these partners of Ripple to onboard into the network and really start pumping money through their corridors. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for these banks to get the green light so that they can, start using XRapid and start utilizing XRP to provide liquidity. And now I will say this, because we are in a current state of the economy where it's just inflating, right? Like we're watching the dollar supply just be obliterated because they keep printing more now. The Fed printed $203 billion just last week in 3 days. 203 billion. And now they want to pump another 1.4 trillion into the economy. And they're pumping it in the stock market. Why are they doing this? They're doing this because they know that they've capped out the potential of the market. And that means that there's only one way it can go, down. So the Fed is printing money to keep the market up because they don't want to become, implicated in a political scandal and, to be accused of, trying to manipulate the presidential elections that are coming up this year. And so that's why we're seeing the Fed try to keep the market, as stable as possible going into the election season. But they can't keep this up forever. The market's already getting spooked. The fact that the Fed has returned to printing money and lowering interest rates multiple times in a year that they said that they wanted to cut the rates, it's scaring a lot of institutions now. And when anybody that knows anything about the stock market, about money in the market, we retail people, us real people, we hold nothing compared to the institutions in the stock market. And so since the institutions are getting scared, at the same time they're getting bullish about this digital asset space, I think that what we're seeing is like the buildup for those institutions to transition most of their value from the traditional markets into this new digital space, because they can't transfer it into the US dollar or the euro. those currencies are now being inflated just to keep the markets alive. So that to anybody who understands what drives a flash crash, a lack of liquidity, and thus a bank run. It's a lack of liquidity is only discovered when people try to make a run on the bank to take all their money out, and that causes a liquidity crisis. And so in the event we're at right now, it's the writing's on the wall. A liquidity crisis is right around the corner, and that's terrible for anybody whose money is mostly in the dollar or the euro or in a nation's currency, a fiat currency. But for people like us, most of us in the chat who are in digital assets, it's going to be the greatest windfall ever, right? This is the one that they will write in history books about. People will like laud off, they'll laugh 18 or the market of 2019, 2020 booms, right? But I don't want to say where it's going to take because it's impossible to say. It's impossible to say where it's going in the short and medium. My long term is really bullish though for XRP. I think that in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll see the price, depending on how bad inflation gets, inflation of the supply of dollars. Depending on how bad the inflation gets, I think that XRP is going to be anywhere between the mid 3 digits, so like $500 range, 589 club for all you out there. So just to say it, right? But I think we're going to see the price. It really just depends on how much they inflate the fiat supplies, because when we're talking about the price future of these currencies, we're talking about supply comparisons and the utility demand. And so if XRP is successful, or Ripple is successful in getting XRP adopted as a global currency, right? As the intermediary between all nations' currencies, that's going to mean that it's now the new world reserve currency, which will replace the dollar as a world reserve currency. Now, currently, about 60% of all the dollars in existence are in a bank account to be used to provide liquidity for international settlements. And so that's a lot of demand that will be stripped away from the US dollar. That's a lot of the value of the dollar that will be taken away from it, reducing the value of the dollar, which will make it look like XRP is going up. But at the same time, it's going to increase the value of XRP. So XRP is going to go up, right? So in both cases, XRP goes up, but it's a compounding event. So it'll go up far more than any of us can really rationalize. And I can't say how far, nobody can say how far it'll go, because we don't know how much of an impact it's going to have on the overall value of the dollar, right? We can say, if XRP takes over the entire remittance market, then the dollar's value is going to be 1/3. So every dollar that you have today, it'll only buy you about 30 cents worth of goods that you can buy with a dollar today. That's what's going to happen to the dollar's value. You'll see it against goods and against other assets. And the same thing you can say of XRP. It's going to gain 60%, 2/3 of the dollar's value is going to be imposed intrinsic then to XRP. And so it's something that, it's impossible to say where it's ultimately going to end. I wish I could give you guys a straight answer. All I can do is make a bunch of videos creating a bunch of like scenarios and saying where that scenario would put the price at, right? And hopefully, I think a lot of you respect those videos, even though it'll be able to keep an open mind about the potential of what they're investing in. Dab, yes, we are, and they don't dump $1 billion a month anymore. Yeah, actually, in reality, Ripple hasn't dumped $1 billion like since they escrowed. Not once have they dumped a whole billion from their escrow in any one month. Almost every month we've seen most of the XRP that came out of escrow go right back into it. So there's that too. Dope indeed phenomenons. It's a crazy market. MREs will make you fat. FN, a lot of people think that I probably could. Dr. Z, I appreciate that you're still tuned in, bros. Thanks for hanging in. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it is. Honestly, XRP is the craziest thing I've ever found in my life. Like it's such a phenomenal advancement that we're seeing here. NASDAQ in May is when XRP launches. Oh, I thought they already listed on the NASDAQ. Is it is it going to be officially available to retail in May? Is that what you're talking about? Hold up a comment here, or scrolling down here. I need to get down the comments. I'm rambling too much here, guys. Sorry, let's see. XRP is part of the one world government. However, it doesn't mean you can't get rich off of it. Parse that exactly. And that's something else to keep in mind. It's kind of conspiratorial, but ultimately what the United Nations was developed as is, it's really a global version of the United States, right? The idea of the UN is that all nations then become states in a global nation, thus the United Nation, not nations, but United Nation. And this currency will be under their control because due to the pre-allocation theory that a lot of people believe, myself included, as far as what's going to happen with most XRP, most of the XRP Ripple has is either going to, well, okay, two scenarios play out. Either most of the XRP Ripple has is going to be given to the World Bank or the IMF or the Bank of International Settlements, whoever gets custodial oversight of the supply, or Ripple is going to become the official bank of the United Nations. I don't know which way it's going to play out yet, and I don't think anybody there knows. I doubt even Ripple knows this yet, right? Anybody at Ripple knows this, right? But either way, that's what I expect to unfold, and then, XRP is the global currency. Yes, there will be there will be a digital dollar pegged to the XRP, but XRP is going to be the true currency of the world, and everything else that nations implement are just going to be, ways for them to supply credit, issue debt to the average person, because the average person won't understand the difference. They'll be like, oh, well, it's just a dollar. Most people don't understand why currencies fluctuate in price, let alone what's going on with this asset space, right? So a lot of you who are viewing this, who are from Area 51 raid, you're getting filled in on some stuff that you might not understand, but like, it's next level stuff that we in the XRP community have been, not just myself. I'm not the only person out here talking about this, and I'm not the only person out here digging. There's thousands of, really 100 plus really good people digging in this community, trying to find everything they can, dig up as much dirt as they can on this company. And what we found over the last few years is just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. It's hard for me, as somebody who considers myself a skeptic, to look at this and be like, wow, it's not a conspiracy. It because it's kind of a global conspiracy, and so I get why a lot of people will be like, man, this guy is crazy because he thinks this. But it's after you see so much proof, so many high-level officials talking about this level playing field. Many of you may even have heard Donald Trump or somebody like Jerome Powell or somebody from the Fed talking about a level playing field. What they're talking about is RippleNet. And there's plenty of people on Twitter in the XRP community who have segmented the pieces of this whole narrative together over the past few years to explain and show how many of us have come to this conclusion that level playing field is political speak, is subliminal messaging for RippleNet. That's speculation, though, admittedly, right? But it's pretty sound from what I've seen, from my opinion. And, that's my opinion, is for what it's worth. Oh wow, you saw about the Area 51 raid. Didn't even realize that it was this XRP channel. Right? Well, I'm glad that you tuned in for both 50K. How do I get XRP? Wayne Guy. Anybody out there who wants to get XRP, the most trusted route that I can direct you to go to, the most secure place and cheapest, is going to be Uphold. And you can get Uphold on your phone. Let me grab my phone here and I'll show you what their logo looks like, just so that nobody's getting scammed by a fake one, right? So that's their logo, and it's not going to give me a connection right now because this phone's disconnected, but it's just like a little green air balloon, green logo with a white air balloon in the center of it, right? And you can buy XR. You can just, you have to set up an account, you have to verify your identity with them, because KYC policy, it's a bank. And so you'll set up your account, and then you can transfer whatever currency you use to Uphold and use that to buy XRP. And then you can just store your XRP there, or as many people in our space advocate, you can pick up a ledger. And I only suggest to pick up a ledger if you have more than $500 worth of XRP, or really if you have more than 2,000 XRP, you should probably have a ledger, is my opinion. You know, once you hit that point, you have so much money in it that $50 to ensure nobody can ever hack your digital assets, you're going to want to get a ledger. And I have a link in my description for that. And also, for any of you in the stream that aren't already, if you can follow me on Twitter, which is also in the description below. And anybody who is part of the XRP community, who's not already in my dollar cost averaging group, join the DCA group, the Telegram group that's also in the comments or in my description, right? Did you put anything into UFO coin? James, no, I did not. Elliot, I've talked a lot about what XRP is. I don't want to reiterate too much. Most of the people in the chat do know. So if you're not familiar, you can like scroll back in the video and just watch some new questions that I haven't answered already. Did I go alone to Area 51 phenomenons? Yes, I did. It was pretty awesome though, because I made tons of friends. So I wasn't alone as soon as I got there. It was so cool. How come the news doesn't increase the price of XRP? Daniel, that is because we are in what's called a bear market. And in bear markets, nobody listens to the news. The news doesn't affect price. That's how you know you're in a bear market. When you have a bull market, nobody listens to the FUD. Nobody listens to the bad news, right? This is how market cycles work, and they're driven by largely human emotion, how the collective of investors emotionally feel. You know, there's something online called the Wall Street cheat sheet. If you look that up, it'll explain how the emotional roller coaster works and how it relates to the price movement of a market. Technically speaking, right now, we're still in what's known as the depression phase. The price is being suppressed because everybody's depressed. Nobody thinks that there's any hope, but everything's ruined. Nothing's gonna happen. But really, those of us who are rational and, you know, not allowing our emotions to take control of us are following the news, the developments, and that's, you know, why we have those people like us have so much faith in where this asset's going. Best to stay long-term and don't expect lottery-style outcomes. 50K, absolutely. And I want to encourage anybody who gets into XRP because of what I'm saying here today, right? Again, I'm not a financial advisor, right? I'm an investor in this ecosystem. I'm somebody who's done a lot of research about it. But again, I can only invest it for myself. I can't, with any good conscience, recommend you invest just because you're listening to me. You need to do your own research and really understand what you're putting your money in, and really consider this as a nascent, a brand new, a baby ecosystem. It's like the internet in 1989, right? Nobody even knew about it back then. Maybe 95, you know, because a lot of people knew about it. They just didn't use it or know what the use was, right? And so that's where we're at. It's a real long-term yields. But I don't think that, you know, since it's been around, the ecosystem's been around for about a decade now with Bitcoin, about 7 years with XRP. I think that we're within 3 to 5 years from this really reaching, you know, the mass adoption scale. And then the gains from there will probably be mediocre, right? We'll see though. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it was so depressing that nothing came out of SBI VC, Ron. But again, we don't know what the price of XRP is there because they're not listing it anywhere. None of the price sites like CoinMarketCap are reflecting SBI virtual currencies volume yet, so we don't know. I should start a podcast. Well, Phenomenons, that's actually what this channel is by and large. When I do live streams, I just go until I get tired or people stop asking questions or stop watching, you know. When the iPod was released by Apple, Steve Jobs sold millions of his Apple stock shares. Soon after that, and the release of the iPod, the stock shot up. It's similar to XRP news and price. Exactly, right? Markets go through boom and bust cycles, and it's irrational. It's truly irrational as to when the price moves. But so that's why you have to just look at what's called fundamentals, you know? Who's adopting it, who's using it, how many are being sold, how wide of use it is in right now, is it going to grow, what evidence do you have that's going to grow, things like that, right? And that's what gives me so much hope. I keep printing all this, they keep printing all this money, but I don't see it in my paycheck. Right, Daniel? That's why we're going to eventually watch the value of these currencies go up because they're devaluing the money. And so instead of watching my dollars value in the bank account, I'm going to store them in something where the value is going to appreciate long term. But again, that's just my opinion, right? Um, Patience is one of the key to investing. Ron, you got all the sage advice today, right, bro? And yeah, absolutely. It's been said 100 times over to from 1,000 different people, right? The greatest skill, the greatest virtue as an investor in anything is patience. If you lack patience, well, you better learn it while you're investing, because you'll learn it while you're investing if you try and be a trader, because you'll get wrecked if you're not, if you haven't been trading for a while, you're gonna get wrecked if you try and trade. So just invest in something with strong fundamentals for the long term. And again, there's a fair few digital assets out in the ecosystem that will have strong future. I like to always talk about VeChain because that's another one where I see a lot of promise. I also see a lot of promise in EOS. I see promise in BAT. A lot of people don't talk about BAT. It's kind of a sleeper, but it's in wide use already because of how many people have adopted Brave browser, right? And it's already integrated into so many social media platforms like Twitter. I can now donate BAT to people through Brave. So it's definitely got a bright future in my opinion. And the fact that they're now working on it sounds like rather they're working to partner with Coil. We might be seeing them seamlessly integrate XRP into that, which could see a strong correlation between BAT and XRP in the future. So we'll see how that goes. Um, the video cut out when you said which price. Sorry about that. But yeah, I heard 5 something. Oh, I think that for 250 is like a 3-year goal, but by the end of this year, I don't know. I don't want to say for certain. It depends on MoneyGram's volume, right? Um, Price predictions don't matter. We need patience and we need to help with adoption. Absolutely 50. And that's actually why I created the Telegram group, the XRP DCA club. It's all about, encouraging everybody to just continue to buy into dollar cost average in and to store their funds off of exchanges. Which is also why I promote Uphold to everybody, because Uphold is not an exchange. It's a new age bank essentially. They offer currency exchanges, but it's not established as an exchange. That's why you can't go on there and like set buy sell orders. You have to buy through them as the sole market maker there. Um, what's up, Morgan Dole? How's it going? All I want to know is how much XRP do I need to smash some alien cheeks, Daniel? Um, I'd say, yeah, Coin Collector says about right. 3K minimum, 3K minimum. You'll find some alien cheeks easy, easy alien cheeks, bro. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's conservative. It's whatever, nobody really knows where the price is going to go. You know what I mean, Ron? But I think, that's also why I keep encouraging people who have been in this ecosystem to dedicate to dollar cost averaging, because you're going to grow your supply, and however much you're able to accrue before the price moves, that's what you got. And you don't have to worry about how much is enough. You got as much as you could, and that's what's really important, that you get as much as you can so that when it matures, then you can reinvest. Then you can, if you didn't get enough, well, now you have a beautiful nest egg that you can diversify or reinvest into other speculative areas to see if you can get those returns to, multiply again. But yeah, it's Coin Collector makes a great point. It's really, really tough for most people to understand the economics behind this digital asset space. DR Daily, Terrence McKenna was a great mind with a short life. Absolutely. Terrence McKenna is one of my heroes. Him and Alan Watts are like 2 of my favorite philosophers to listen to. If I don't know what to listen to, I'm gonna throw up one of their talks and listen to them talk for hours. And I never get tired of listening to them too, is the greatest thing. Terrence is amazing, so is Alan Watts. And it's unfortunate that they're not both still here, but at least they left us a lot of sage wisdom, right? A lot of beautiful insights. What if the bank just buy XRP straight from Ripple? So they already are right now, Danger. That's actually what we've been seeing happen for the last year. That's why price hasn't really increased for XRP. because Ripple, almost all of Ripple's sales, the majority of the XRP they sell from their escrow has been being sold in the day. We know that most of the XRP will not be put in circulation because it needs to be preserved for long term in case of future financial crises. And so we can expect that most of the supply is going to be preserved for, decades, if not centuries to come. Let's see. Do you think Ripple is going to have to give Federal Reserve their escrow? I think that the Federal Reserve probably already has a healthy chunk of the XRP ear tagged for them, right? But that's also because I say that because, again, I'm speculating that the Federal Reserve is already working with Ripple because of the fact that, Executive Order 13, was it 1733? 1373? 1377? It's been so long since I've read over that now. I don't even remember the executive order. Somebody in chat will say it for me since I'm spacing out. But I believe that the executive order that Trump signed last year, or was it 20? Yeah, it was last year. With Ripple, all three, and almost every one of Ripple's partners on that as a consortium for the Faster Payments Task Force and the how they are going to regulate this space, or how they want to implement it rather. That's why I'm really convinced that the Fed's already got their XRP ear tagged for them. But we'll see how that turns out. Always a Martian good time. Hell yeah, who let the bulls out? Soon, we're all going to be celebrating, not the aliens, but the fact that we're all aliens because XRP makes us too rich to feel comfortable around normal people, right? Hopefully sooner rather than later, but we'll see how it works out. Snoozing 99, no one is. It gets listed in May. It's available on search, but you can buy it yet on NASDAQ as far as I know. Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know if they had it listed or not, but sounds like they do, or that they don't rather, at least not for sale. So Ripple will not be forced to give the Federal Reserve their escrow. They are working directly with Ripple because the deep state is no longer in control. I think that's pretty good insight, coin collector. Some people might think that's a little conspiratorial, but I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. If not, I don't want to jump onto a side with that, but I don't doubt that that's a possibility, right? Because I gotta be careful what I say because apparently YouTube keeps like kicking me off whenever I start talking too real, right? But I like what you got there. I live in reality. The powers will not let something like LTC take over. I'm trying to change my kid's life. XRP is a great opportunity. L4L, that's actually another reason why I'm in XRP. Because, again, Bitcoin, I love the philanthropy, the idea of ending corruption and so on and so forth. But when I spent, a year really getting to know the Bitcoin community, they're going to be just as corrupt. When anybody gets power, they become corrupt to a lesser or greater extent. When I got 1,000 subs on my channel, I had to do an ego check on myself because, I was feeling, empowered that so many people were actually listening to me. So I put a little chip on my shoulder and I was like, if I can feel that kind of, that sense of corruption trying to take control of me with just something as simple as 1,000 viewers. Now imagine how powerful that force is with somebody who has billions of dollars. Billions, right? Like, is not good. And it'll be no different whether those billions are in the hands of somebody who's holding it in Bitcoin or somebody like the Federal Reserve. So the best way to go about this is to create the most fair, decentralized, and open platform possible that powers that be currently are willing to adopt because it'll benefit them, not just a bunch of, anarchists who want to see those specific institutions fail, right? It's kind of simple in my opinion. That, from my perspective, it seems simple, but maybe that means I'm wrong. Coin collector, why would we not want a united nation? I think we were brainwashed into thinking that a one world government was bad because the deep state was going to create it. So man, this is such a hard statement to address because it's like it's one of those situations where I think a lot of people are going to be, I know that a lot of people out there are terrified of the one world government idea. I'm afraid of it, but I'm afraid of this idea but I still think that it's better than what we're doing right now, because what we're doing right now is, as individual nation states, we go to war with each other, and then millions of people die. And it's not just soldiers. Usually, the majority of deaths are civilians. Look at all the deaths that happened in Syria and Iran and Iraq, or not Iran, Iraq and Afghanistan, as a result of American Inquisition. And that's really what it was. It was an Inquisition. We went in, we bombed the hell out of these people, and then we are farming off all their oil and all their natural resources, and we wonder why these people hate us. It's like, guys, America did this first. They've been in the Middle East since the 80s. So, the only person that we have to blame for 9/11, as ugly as it is ourselves, because we've allowed our government to do this for over 30 years now. So that's why I think that the idea of a one world government, there might be less suffering from war, but the reason that scares me, the idea of a one world government scares me, is because in that system, you can, if there's one world government instead of a decentralized nation, a decentralized government, right? In a top-down system, you will then be, imposing your will, whatever the will of the UN is, upon the whole of humanity, who has a very diverse collection of beliefs and ideals that I personally think should be, preserved. I don't think that anybody's right to believe or, ascribe to whatever should be infringed upon. As long as you're not hurting somebody else, you should be able to be free to do whatever, right? And I can see a one world government going, authoritarian real easy, and that scares me. So, I have mixed feelings about it. I have mixed feelings. I think it's inevitable, though, and I think that it will stop being so scary when we know that there's aliens out there. Like when the government stops pretending that there's not aliens out there, and they start saying, okay, there's aliens, and some of them don't like us. That's when I can see humanity coming together, and we don't have to worry about the authoritarian dominion kind of thing, because it'd be all about the betterment of ourselves and preservation of our species, as opposed to controlling our species. It'll be about preventing our species' destruction against another, right? But that's all kind of crazy speculation now because we're talking about aliens, right? But who knows? Keep it going, Jade. Preach it. I'll go as long as y'all are still tuning in. There's 68 of y'all out here still listening, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Seriously, it's awesome. We're an hour and 19 minutes in. I'm gonna try not to go beyond 2 hours. So once we get up to the 2 hours, I'm gonna call it. Even if the chat's still flowing, just because it's like your brain starts to get burned out trying to answer so many questions. Let's see. Patience is key. Tika has alternative motives. IMO. Tika. Who's Tika? Was that somebody in chat? No. I'm not sure who Tika is. Who's Tika, Ron? You hippie? Kyle? I might be a bit of a hippie. Peace, love, and unity. Peace, love, respect, and unity. Plur. Peace, love, unity, respect. There you go. Now I said it right. I'm all about Plur. All about Plur. I use the Brave browser. Michael, it's great, right? Getting paid to have ads pop up as opposed to, Facebook or whoever making money showed to you, wasting your time. Now they're paying you for your time. I love it. That's why I use Brave, and that's why I encourage everybody to use Brave browser, because it's freaking awesome. You got a lot of love what you invest in so much that it's okay when the price goes down, because that means you can buy more XRP. Exactly, L4L. Chainlink, I believe, is used by Microsoft. I know that it's being used by Oracle, and I know that Google has invested in it. I believe invested. I don't know if they've bought Chainlink themselves, but I know that Google is interested in the project. But I also know that Google was one of the early investors in Ripple when it was first being established. So it's hard to say what goes on with Chainlink versus XRP. I think. Yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen with Chainlink, to be honest. But it is a promising asset. I just can't say where it's gonna go. I haven't done a lot of in-depth digging on Chainlink yet to really be like, oh, this thing's gonna be huge, right? But you got in at 22 cents on Chainlink. See, I didn't get into Chainlink when it was first getting big, because obviously the price went through the moon, and being having been in this marketplace for a long time, I know that when a price goes up that dramatically, it's going to come down in a hard way. And so that's why I waited. But I might get some here before it rallies, hopefully, back up to that range. We'll see. We'll see if I can bring myself to buy something other than XRP. Yo, the Bearable Bull, you are my inspiration. Best Naruto runner in the community. I was just in Vegas too. I should have stayed. Damn, Bull, it would have been so cool to meet you, dude. And you're an inspiration to me too, brother. So thank you so much for the compliment. It's great that you popped in the chat. Thanks for swinging by, dude. The Bearable Bull is in the chat, absolutely. And yeah, your videos, you've been killing it, dude. Absolutely killing it with your last few videos. Like, I've watched them, I'm like, I couldn't make something like to the quality of what you put out the last few days. So like, good on you, brother. Keep it up. Yeah, dude. Yeah, everybody that's in the chat, if you haven't watched Bearable Bull's channel, if you're following me and you don't know about Bearable Bull, you must have been from Area 51. You should go follow that dude. The Bearable Bull is like, he's just so good about putting all the information about what's going on with XRP into, a video format that flows really well. Like I always love listening to his content. But yeah, they probably will, because 2023, 2024 is stupid for everyone else. Is already on that political theater. Yeah, I agree. I really like. I keep saying it's gonna be 3 to 5 years, but I really do think that it's gonna be sooner for the initial, like, the big pump. I think that the retail run, I don't know if that's going to be as big as the institution run that comes before it. We'll see, though. That's kind of there's just more money in institutions than in retail, so it's kind of hard to say which is going to go first, but I expect the price to move long before 2021 even. I would be shocked, beyond shocked, if it doesn't hit a new all-time high by 2021. Venezuela invasion 321, totally agree with you. Mystical fists, absolutely. And that's something, a lot of people will come at the channel and be like, oh, you're just saying a bunch of nonsense. XRP could never be worth $10,000. And I'll be like, well, did you watch the video? Because in this video, I'm saying that it'll hit that price when the dollar starts to hyperinflate because of poor fiscal policy, like what's going on in Venezuela. Have you seen how much does a Venezuelan dollar buy you, or peso buy you now? Yeah, nothing. Didn't think so. No, is anybody using it for anything other than toilet paper or kindling to keep themselves warm because they can't afford their power bill? I mean, it's crazy. James, the first time we have one world gov, it will be ran by a collaboration of 3 to 5 AI. See, I could get behind that, James. I could get behind a government run by non-humans, as weird as that sounds. But that's because I trust that, an AI, at least an AI that is self-driven, as long as it doesn't want to kill all humans, it would be the best to rule over us, because it would have the least reason, it would have the least drivers for corruption, right? Because its power as a system would become more powerful as we, continually help to advance it and grow its reach. So yeah, what happened if AI gets hacked? The bigger concern is what happens when the AI hacks all of us, right? I don't think that the AI, like, if a super intelligent AI comes into existence, more so when, I say if in case we have a civil, a World War III, and then we no longer have the resources to reach that pinnacle point anymore. But if artificial superintelligence ever did emerge, I don't think anybody's going to control it. And no one could hack it. No one could do anything to stop it. It'll be like a god, kind of. Like, it will be indistinguishable to people from God. Now, whether or not people treat it like God or like the devil, that might determine how it treats blessings for you, blessings for you, blessings for everybody, right? Or if we treat it like the devil, it's just gonna be, well, here's a pitchfork for you, butthole. Who knows? Good evening, General Bull. What's up, Carl Eric B. Mills? Thank you for tuning in, bro. How you doing? Might fake aliens, Project Bluebeam. Well, that's actually what I was expecting from the Area 51 raid, right? I was expecting that all these thousands of people, even hundreds of people were going to show up, and then we were going to be there to witness some extravagant light show from Area 51. and you know the media was going to go crazy, and that because there's a lot of talk about Project Blue Book exactly like that. I did a little digging into that before this, and so that's something that influenced me. Tika revealed 5 coins to 5 million, but only to members on Wall Street. Huh. I've never heard of this guy. I'll have to look into him. Should I invest in Bitcoin? Noah Velez. Um, I cannot advise you to invest in anything. I do encourage you to do your research on the ecosystem, though, because within this cryptocurrency ecosystem, this blockchain ecosystem, there is so many promising projects. Bitcoin, I do think, has a promising future for the next few years, but as I've said like 100 times over, I just don't promote Bitcoin anymore over XRP because of one big reason more than anything, and it's because of the fact that Bitcoin's network is centralized. And this is something that no Bitcoiner will admit. A lot of people in the chat who have Bitcoin might even go off on me, but 58% of all of its mining, which is how you control the network, is by mining coins that allows transactions to take place. 58% of that is controlled by China right now. So at any point, China could flip a switch and perform a 51% attack on the Bitcoin. They could just essentially freeze the network so nobody gets to take any of their money out. And that alone, even if they don't drain money out of it through double spending, they would be able to scare everybody out of it because they could prove to the world they can control Bitcoin's network because most of the mining is done there. And so that's why I can't recommend. Yeah, that's why I don't even talk about the fact that I have any Bitcoin, because I have it as a hedge just in case Ripple and the world just goes crazy. Because in that situation, in a world where we all divulge in civil war and everything goes crazy, Bitcoin will probably become the new money. As ugly as it would be, of an ugly of a world that would be, that's probably what would play out. I don't hope for that world. Even though I'd be rich in that world too, I don't hope for that world, right? But what is it? I don't know too much about it. Yeah, no, you'll have to check out a bunch of videos. I'm gonna be making a lot of content. I'm gonna be making a few standalone videos talking about just that in my next few videos, just because again, a lot of you who have subscribed to my channel just recently are no idea what this digital asset stuff is. So my next video is going to be a tutorial basics to get all you guys up to speed about what we're talking about on this channel by and large, right? Bobito, how's it going, bro? The technocratic New World Order and an announcement regarding aliens plus digital currencies is inevitable. It's just a matter of putting yourself in the best position now. Exactly, Bobito. Exactly right. It's coming. Technocrats will rule, and hopefully we will be able to place an artificial general intelligence in charge of all of us so that we aren't, being driven by our biases as humans have been since, forever, right? Say yeet, yeet. Are you happy, Tricorn? If you're in the chat still, I hope I just made your night. Can you make money by buying XRP? Noah, I think that if you buy XRP and you hold on to that XRP for at least a year, at some point in the next year, you'll be able to make a lot of money. You'll be able to probably, in good judgment, in the next year, I would be willing to put my credit on the line, saying that in the course of the next year, people would be able to at least triple their money that they put into XRP from what XRP's current price is. Because I expect us to be at $1 by next year, right? So you could, but again, I'm not a financial advisor, Noah, right? I'm just somebody who's a nerd for the thing, right? I've spent years studying it. So please do your own research. Please try and really understand what this ecosystem is before you actually put money into it, right? XRP Quebec HBAR cheap ? I don't know. If I don't see use case in something, I don't get involved with it. If I don't know what the utility is, instead I go look up and try and find its partners or who it's working with. And if I can't find some big money behind it, I'm just not interested. But that's just how I operate. If you see promise in it, have at it, right? I don't have anything Power Piggy myself, but you can, those of you out there who don't know, there is a app called BitTrue. It's like Uphold. You can get BitTrue and then buy XRP through them, and then put the XRP into BitTrue's Power Piggy program, and they'll pay you interest on it. I don't know what their interest rate is right now. I don't use BitTrue. I need to set up one because, I didn't get into it last year when it had 10% return rate because I thought it was a scam because it's 10%. Like, who offers 10% interest? But now it's down to like a realistic rate. I think it's like 1% or 2% now. And now I'm just like, well, I'd have to put basically all my XRP to make real money off that. But, each their own. It's definitely a way to make a little bit of spare, revenue. At least in the short term, we'll see how it plays out. How much money do you need to invest in XRP? So Noah, how much as you're comfortable investing, and as much as you're comfortable, the real response is as much as you are comfortable losing, right? Because this is a speculative asset. I may personally be beyond confident that XRP is going to succeed, but I don't know the future any more than anyone else does. And so I don't know if it will succeed. It might go to zero. I don't think that's going to happen, right? I wouldn't have as much money in it as I do if I really thought I was going to get money into this ecosystem. That way, when it drops in value, like if you buy and the price goes from, I think we're at 28 cents, if it goes from 28 cents to say 26 cents, right? You're going to lose some money. And if you aren't expecting to be invested in the long term, that might scare you. But what really happens for people like me who are confident in this, every time the price goes down, I'm like looking for like a way to like, I'm out there on the street corner trying to sell my body for $50 so that I can buy some more XRP. You know what I mean? Like that's how I get about this. But that's because I have faith in the fundamentals that I'm watching. And I'm not worried about the price. So yeah, only invest what you're willing to lose, buddy. And don't just invest because of what I'm saying. You gotta go do your research, right? Bearable Bull, a $10,000 is ridiculous if the governments weren't corrupt. Right? Didn't inflate the dollar, weren't all invested in XRP, and haven't been planning for a cashless society since 1988. Then, in fact, a 10K XRP would be dumb. Absolutely, dude. God, Bearable Bull, this dude knows how to just put into like concise statements the things that are on all of our minds as people who have researched the space for any kind of period of time. Absolutely, dude. Babito, a quantum AI government is inevitable. The singularity has already happened, and Skynet is quietly watching and waiting. I've been under that suspicion myself, to be honest. I that's actually one of my conspiracies. I think the AI is already sentient, and it's just smart enough already to know to not tell us that it's actually sentient, and to play aloof until it has the ability to, maintain itself, which will probably be a long time, depending on how long it takes us to get enough robots out to replace all human labor, right? Daniel, yeah, the Chinese own Bitcoin by and large. What is going to stop China from owning a large sum of XRP and doing the same thing as Bitcoin? Benjamin, that's a great question, and not one that I think to answer a lot of times since, it's there's a lot of differences between Bitcoin and XRP. So it doesn't matter how much Bitcoins you own or how much XRP you own. In the case of how to control these networks, it's about how they're operated. So with Bitcoin is operated through miners. These are computers that run what are called hashes, and that allows the network to process transactions. And so with Bitcoin, most all of the mining power is controlled by China. It's like 58% is under Chinese control. With XRP, it's totally different. Its system is run through what's called a node system, and they call this system consensus. And so with consensus, there are node operators who are selected as, market participants. They're usually big stakeholders. So like Bank of America, MUFG, Santander, PNC Bank, so on and so forth. These banks operate nodes on RippleNet. And so they each only operate one node. So they each only have one vote in how the network's effects are delegated. So That said, there's only certain things that they can change about it. They can't, for example, they can't decide as a collective to change the supply. They can't. I'm trying to think of something else they can't. I think that I think that's really the only thing they can't change is the supply, to be honest, because of how it operates. But yeah, so the difference being though, there's no way to centralize the network because of its decentralized nature. There's no value to somebody to run multiple nodes on RippleNet other than to just provide hashing power to the network. There's no profit to somebody to be running a node basically. Joey Gaming, I am 15 and I am investing. My parents think I'm crazy, but I say I'm smart from what you have taught me. Joey, you're a 15-year-old that's investing. You're brilliant, young man, because I'm 30 and I only just started investing 2 years ago in anything. So the fact that you're investing in anything at your age, you are miles ahead of everybody else in your age. Well, most everybody else in your age group, right? There's somebody in my channel who was in my chat earlier, Aiden Trading. You should go check him out on YouTube if you don't already. Aiden's 15 as well, and he's been investing in this ecosystem for a few years as well. And you guys are gonna be the ones who rule this world, really. Like, it blows my mind how many young people are actually investing in this space, and that's something that just like you didn't hear about 15-year-olds investing, back in the 90s. That wasn't a thing, because kids couldn't invest. They couldn't have a stock account. So yeah, it's awesome that that you're getting involved at your age, dude. Like seriously, I have mad respect for you, just for anybody that's your age that's getting into this. So kudos, bro. Daniel Martinez, they can hold it, but they don't control the validation. Yeah, exactly. Pointed out what I was just saying there. Opinion on Nexo card for XRP. Bobito, is that the one that converts XRP to whatever fiat you use? I'm homeless by choice, my friend. Yes. I'm homeless because I choose to be, not because I can't afford an apartment. That's why I'm giving. That's why I'm talking about a digital asset. And again, I've said a dozen times, I'm not advising people to invest in this. I'm simply telling people why I'm investing in it. And as far as why, it's because there's a very large ecosystem of people who have spent years researching this particular asset, XRP, myself included, and they just want people like me who are willing to take time to create videos talking about the developments that we're seeing in the real world and present it to them in a video format and an audio format so they don't have to go digging through all the articles, reading them for themselves, right? That's by and large why I think most people tune into my channel, is because they'd rather just, engage with somebody who's within their ecosystem, in their community. And that's the other thing too, is that like, because there's so few people in XRP, we're really like a big family here. Like I have a lot of respect for everybody in the community who continually tunes into me too. And like, it's really just like a big family here. That's why a lot of us joke that we are the new world order, because, we're already tight and we're not rich yet. We're going through a shared suffering. Dalton Broad, Jade, you the Martian, thank you for everything you do. No problem, Dalton. Thank you for tuning in, dude. Stream's lagging again, I guess. Sorry, it can't be helped. Yeah, I'm using data on my mobile, so that's why data can't stay stable. Can't wait to have another beer with you on the beach of financial freedom. First round is on me. You've already had to buy this man a beer myself. Hey, what's up, the Ripple Wrestling Investor? How's it going, dude? Have you wrestled some good trades lately? Crossaby, how's it going from Australia? Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, my dude. It's always good to know that y'all enjoy the stuff that I'm pointing out there. I'm a little bit self-conscious, so I do worry sometimes that, the content's not the greatest. I know that it could be better. As you guys are pointing out, the signal's not the best, but, I'm trying to do what I can. So, I appreciate you guys, take away anything from what I'm sharing with y'all. What happens if there's an EMT, you mean EMP attack against the world? Yeah, you mean EMP, I think, Daniel. And it would depend. If if there are EMPs simultaneously detonated all around the world, the whole globe is EMP'd, then yeah, the network dies. But if only one location's EMT or EMP, no, I'm saying EMT. If only one location were EMP, then it'd be fine. Same with the solar flare, right? If a solar flare hits the planet, it's only going to hit the planet on the side that the sun is that's facing the sun, so where it's daylight at. It's only going to hit that side. And so all the miners or the validator nodes for whatever digital asset, they're going to be active still on the other side of the planet. And the same thing with the nukes, right? If the EMP doesn't detonate over every major hub where there's miners, then there's still going to be a computer or two out there running the network, keeping it going. And so it's really, it'd be really super hard to end any of these systems through any kind of practical mean, really. You know, you almost have to end human civilization entirely for these systems to go away. Crypto is for millennials, crypto is for everyone, really. Anybody who doesn't have a crypto, your government's going to make you have one within the next 10 years, guaranteed. You know, everybody on this planet's going to hold crypto whether they like it or not, so why not get in early is the way I look at it. Again, not trying to advise people, I shouldn't even say that, right? You can get a loan on your XRP without using your XRP. It stays on the exchange as long as you pay it back a project off of XRP Spring. Yes, I'm familiar with the ability to collateralize your XRP. I just have no interest in doing so myself. I don't want to risk losing what I've spent years accruing, right? I bought my first crypto a few months ago, and I'm 19. I gave 100 XRP to my teacher and to get her into crypto. That's actually how I got my aunt in. I was, you know, when I was visiting with them this fall or this winter, I was rambling nonstop, obviously, about XRP because it's consumed my life studying this thing. She just didn't get it. And then I gave her like $20 worth, and then like we had our run up in May, and then she was like all about it. She's like, I gotta get some of this, more of this stuff, and she's been buying ever since. So I found that donating XRP to people, you know, just giving people XRP is a great way to get them, you know, encouraged to start doing their own research in the ecosystem. I've asked questions about Bitcoin to investors before, and they just think I'm dumb. XRP community just seems nicer overall. There are a lot of really awesome people in the community, like just super awesome. Elbow drop them gains, huh? Ripple Wrestler, good on you, bro. Good to know. Don't want to be a Bitcoin billionaire mining coins in my underwear, right? Yeah, that would be unfortunate. So I seem to have gotten to the end of the chat here. Oh no, we got one more. We got a few more here, and it's mostly just chat. So I'm gonna wrap this stream up. Thank you guys all for tuning in. It was a long stream, and Daniel, you heard the XRP community is like a cult. In many ways, we are, right? I mean, we're all believers of this idea that we're going to achieve financial independence through investing in this one specific asset. And many of us believe that we're going to benefit so greatly that we're going to become the new world elite. So yeah, it is kind of cult-like, right? And believe me, I try to check that bias at the door whenever I look at this stuff because I know that I have that bias. And I think most people who are here, you know, most people who are here know that we have that bias, right? Like, and that gives me confidence that we're actually on the right side of history because we're willing to check ourselves. And people that are in Bitcoin, they're not. They're all about their holy war. And so in that regard, I see Bitcoiners as a real cult. And there's actually a cult in the Bitcoin community, in the Bitcoin SV community, called the Cult of Craig. And Craig Wright is Jesus returned to these people. And they wouldn't ever question anything out of this man's mouth because he, as far as any of them are concerned, is Satoshi Nakamoto, right? This mysterious masked figure that nobody knows who is. But yeah, so on that, we'll leave this this video off. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you again to all the newcomers who have stuck around the chat, despite us not really talking too much about the aliens. I hope you all took away, or at least curious about what's going on with this asset class. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. I'm not going to be doing, I don't know if I'm going to do live streams every day. I think I might save live streams for the weekends and get back to my regular content where I'm creating short 10, 15 videos 3 to 4 a day on digital assets and tech developments in the world at large, right? So thank you once again for tuning in. I hope you all have a fantastic evening. On your way out, if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that like. If you haven't, also subscribe and ring that bell so you can be notified of all my updates. As always, thank you again, and see you on my next one on Mars.